men put in more effort than women when it comes to dating. Dating is easier for women. To which, Sina, you disagreed that dating is easier for women. You disagree men put in more effort. Isabella, you disagree that dating is easier for women. Amanda, you disagree that men put in more effort than women when it comes to dating. And that's it. So you guys think that women put in more effort when it comes to dating and that dating is easier for men?
I think that men put in more effort, but it could be uneasy for both parties. Like, relationships can be tough. You don't know who you're dating. You could be dating a terrible person. It's going to be hard.
So when I'm talking about dating, certainly it can be the case that women can date toxic men can date toxic women. Yeah. But I'm more so talking about like those kind of earlier stages of dating.
I think men have it harder earlier on. And I wrote that.
I think I retract my circle. I agree. Men have.
What the fuck? Okay.
Men have it harder.
Anybody gonna hold to what they wrote in the questionnaire?
I think early on in dating that the input is pretty equal, especially in today's dating situations, because there's other things that go into dating for women that don't necessarily apply for men.
Like what?
I mean, personal hygiene for women, like getting ready for a date takes much longer for a woman than it does for a man. And so I think that women typically put more time into the presentation of the date, presentation of themselves on the date.
What extra amount of time would you say? An extra hour maybe, or what do you?
To prepare for a date? Yeah, I would say a girl spends an extra hour getting ready for a date.
As compared to men?
But men has to plan the date and like...
Yeah.
That's not always the case. I plan dates.
Prepare the date and pay for the date, like work extra hours to pay for the date.
Yeah,
they say he shouldn't pay for the date though.
Yeah, typically I think, so historically, right, I think men put in more effort in the courtship process. Currently, I think there is a closer to even contribution on both parties.
Do you think that it's easier for men to date?
No, I think it's definitely harder for men to date than it is for women to date.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking like, okay, even if I grant that women put in all this extra time to get ready, they put on their makeup or whatever, and it takes an extra hour, there is an expectation on men to pay for first dates. If the guy takes you out to dinner, sometimes it could be an affordable place. But I don't think it's crazy that a guy would pay like $100 for a dinner date in like a metropolitan city. If he's making $20 an hour, for example, he's working 5 hours to take you on a date. So
I probably worked 5 hours to pay for everything to get ready for the date.
No, you didn't.
I mean, makeup alone
is expensive.
Is cost me more than $100 for that date.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
I guess he means like
Hold
if
on.
we're generally
Hold on.
speaking.
The makeup, this is so dishonest. Okay. So you're saying I spent $40 total on this foundation bottle, and essentially your argument would have to be I use the entire foundation bottle on this date, or does that foundation bottle last you like dozens or even over 100 individual uses? So it's so dishonest because it's like you would have to determine, okay, how many individual uses do I get out of this one bottle of product? And then you'd have to divide the total cost of the product by how many uses. So if the bottle costs you 100 and you get 100 uses out of the bottle, that's $1. The cost for the date is not $100.
A woman doesn't just use one makeup product before she goes on a date. So I still think it's an equal contribution on both parts.
But I don't think it's comparable.
We've literally done the math on this. Here, there's like a TikTok about like, I'm going to see if I can find it. TikTok math, makeup, date.
$40. Wait, did I hear this right? How much are you saying they're spending on a single date for makeup?
Makeup was just the example of one of the products I'm using that they are purchasing to participate in that date. There are lots of things that go into the care of women for themselves. Nails, hair, makeup, tanning, all of those things factor into
Okay, well then men are buying
their attractiveness.
clothes, gasoline, basically anything which is tangential. Their car repairs, the fact that they got a car, the fact they make car payments, all of that was in preparation for this date too then.
And then that equalizes again with the woman that's coming to the date as a...
How does that... Okay, so if things are equalized coming into the date, then why is he paying for the date?
I don't think, did I circle that? I don't think men should pay 100% all the time. I think that's circumstantial.
No, but the argument was, we were talking about, is dating easier for men or women? Men, if you disagree, if men put in more effort than women when it comes to dating, and you said, well, you know, when you go on the date, like women have to prepare more. And I was like, well, men, if they have to pay for the date, they have to work X amount of hours to be able to pay for the date.
I have to work a certain amount of hours to be able to attend the date as well.
So if I give a woman a makeup pass as somebody who prefers natural women and prefers minimal or no makeup, then...
I mean,
like, we don't... Hold on, wait, one sec. Do women wear makeup for themselves, for other women, or for men? Because you guys pick and choose in which situation. So on a first date, you guys dress nice and wear makeup and do all this cosmetic shit for the man, ergo, thus, the man should pay. But if we say, oh, you guys wear makeup for men, you say, no, we would do it for ourselves and for other women. So which is it? Is it Schrodinger's makeup paint?
Honestly, makeup is for men. If you're being honest. If we're being honest, makeup is for the men. Like, we all come to this podcast because we want to look pretty. Yeah, we can say we put on makeup to look pretty for ourselves and to look pretty on the camera, but who's watching us on the podcast? Mainly men, right? Mm-hmm. And we want to portray ourselves in a certain way in front of those people.
Well, hold on, I'm not talking about the pod.
Well, I'm talking in general.
Yeah, but like I acknowledge, like, when women are engaged in like theatrical or film scenario, like if you're on camera, like it's kind of like, yeah, you're gonna wear makeup.
But in general,
I'm not faulting you guys for wearing makeup on the podcast.
But we wear makeup for men. Like,
yeah, okay,
in
cool.
general.
Yeah,
I agree. You have something?
I was just going to say, I feel like that's kind of irrelevant because the question is, like, is dating harder for men or women? For men, they have to do the approaching.
Yep.
They generally have to court you. They have to take you somewhere. Whether or not you guys split the bill or whatever, it's generally like you expect the man to take you and treat you. And that's regardless of if you put makeup on your face. Like, yes, generally I will agree, especially depending on the type of woman you are. You want to look your best when you go on a date. Whether you put the makeup on for yourself, you want to feel your best and look your best.
Yeah.
So, but I think dating in general is harder for men. They are the pursuer. They have to do the chase. Women are not going to just come up to you and say, like, hey, can you take me on a date? Like that. So it's, in my opinion, like the getting ready process. Yes. For someone like me who does get their nails done and their hair done and all this shit. Yes, it's expensive. It is a lot of work, but dating, no, men have to work harder.
Yeah, and I to your point, even if like the math equaled out, like in terms of what the woman spent, what the man spent, if he pays for the first date, or even if you go 50-50, like all those other dimensions, the man, like typically, look, I get there's some women that shoot their shot. It's exceedingly rare. It does happen, but like overwhelmingly, most men's experience when it comes to dating, they're going to be approaching first. And not only are they approaching you, before they get the yes from you, they got no from 10, 20, 100 other women. Because most men, like, they're not shooting one for one. Like most men, they have to like work.
Yeah, and that's
volume.
what's the hardest part for
They got to
men,
deal with the rejection.
Exactly.
Women don't really, you don't really get rejected like that. Like you don't, like if you're at a bar or a club and the dude's just like rapid fire approaching chicks, boom, rejection. Like he's got to approach 10 girls before he's lucky to even like get with one. But so it's like approaching, sending the first message, soliciting the first date, asking for the number, setting up the date, paying for the date, all that shit, moving things forward. There's like dozens of different steps that men have to take that women don't really even have to think about ever. Like, let me ask you guys a question. Of all the first kisses that you guys ever had, did you go for the first kiss or did the guy?
The guy.
I did.
Okay, you're weird.
I did both times.
Okay, cool, bro. You fucking.
I'm just saying. You asked the question, I'm answering.
Yeah, no, you got the red hair. I get it.
Oh, okay.
All right. What about you?
For sure, the guy.
For sure, the guy.
The guy.
The guy.
I made the first move with my husband.
What about all the other men that you forgot about?
I would say it's probably 50-50.
Okay. All right. Riley.
The guy.
Kyla.
The guy.
All right. So the whole rejection thing. Let's see here.
One time a guy said ew when I tried to kiss him. He did like that ew.
Nice.
Yeah.